following critical incident video details a deputy-involved shooting that occurred on June 17, 2024. This video contains graphic images and language. Viewer discretion is advised.
So today we're going to look at a video from Palmdale Sheriff's Office. Reporting party RPs calling in to 911 saying that there's a male suspect out here attempting a carjack at knife point. We're going to pick up where this 911 call gets initiated. And on today, we got with us Jay, again, owner of Six Layer Concepts, nation's leading law enforcement training group. Jay, thanks for being with us. And we also have Sergeant G, active law enforcement officer, trainer, et cetera, et cetera. Don't want to give too much of his bio, but definitely a great insight, great voice to have on our channel. Sergeant G, thank you for being with us again as well today.
Yeah, of course.
And like anything else, I'm going to pass the buck to you guys, maybe some questions here and there, but, let's kind of see what we hear and, kind of where's the officer's heads going, what are some things we could consider?
What's your emergency?
There's a guy pulling on doors. Luckily, ours was locked on 20th Street East and Palmdale, right after Palmdale Boulevard. He has a big knife on him.
What's the address?
I'm on 20th Street East, but it was between Palmdale Boulevard.
Car doors?
Yeah. He's like in the middle of the street trying to get into somebody's car with a big knife in his hand.
All right. And are people in the cars that he's trying to get in?
Just to, point it out, hey, if you're calling 911, obviously you're looking at what you're calling about. You see it, you know what's happening, but you really got to be descriptive, right? So it first came out, hey, he's trying to pull open doors. And the dispatcher says, what's the address? They're thinking it's a house, an apartment, whatever. Well, no, it's in between this street and this street. Oh, so it's car doors? So now the dispatcher's thinking, like, is this a theft from vehicle? Right. So we don't know if it went from burglary to theft from vehicle. No, now people are sitting in the cars and he has a knife. So we're going to carjacking. So just a reminder to the public, hey, when you call, try to be just as descriptive as possible because we can't see what you see.
Well, and I think too that, obviously your own individual safety or whoever's with you in the car and however you can try to maybe maneuver to get to a safer position, try to get yourself out of harm's way first in a safe manner. Not causing another car wreck or whatever's going on there. And then sometimes it could just help to, take a deep breath. Okay, now what am I seeing? And then, sometimes that's all it takes for even maybe somebody who's not, used to being in stressful situations and a lot's happening.
So officers are currently responding to the last known information that was provided. But this first image is actually body cam footage one of first responding officer.
Don't do that. We're trying to help you. We got you water. Don't do that.
Stop walking.
Hey, suspects on co-op now walking westbound on our.
Yeah, and a clear understanding of the priority here. Hey, no one else needs to get involved. It's you and me. Like he obviously is thinking about the community, innocent bystanders, victims. So, it's very clear what he's trying to get the suspect to do. And it's very clear he understands his priorities and safety there.
Well, I like this freeze frame right here for a few reasons. There's a couple things I'm going to throw down range, and I don't care how you guys chop this up. But number one, the level of sophistication by the suspect. He's actually using the tree as cover right now. And in his backdrop, it looks like a living room window. Could be a bedroom window. We know it's a residential window for sure. So that's one thing I want to talk about is one of you guys chop it up is the level of sophistication from this guy right now. So even if he's committed to a suicide by cop, I'm not sure that behavior is indicative of suicide by cop using cover. Second thing I noticed in this video is surrounding units, it looks like they're blocking off the streets already. So it kind of speaks to the level of training that these officers already have, right? I'm on ground. I have this, long rifle. I got comms with the suspect. I'm running point. And my units are already falling into position, to minimize that damage, that collateral, if you will. Again, I don't care who tackles what, but and we speak to the level of sophistication potentially that we're looking at. And then secondly, how fast this LA Sheriff's, department went into action mode and secured a perimeter essentially, all while this one officer is exiting his passenger vehicle. It happened pretty quickly. So this next angle we're going to pick up is going to be body cam 2. Suspect's been attempting to get into that apartment window. They keep firing those 40 millimeter foam rounds. Doesn't work. Let's take a look.
And And Mike, I don't know. I don't want to assume what their thought process was. The 40 Mike, it's not getting him to comply, but it is preventing him from entering that apartment.
Oh, for sure.
So they would, I mean, you talk about legally, they'd be legally justified in shooting him as he's trying to break into that apartment. But it shows a lot of restraint, a lot of critical thinking. Hey, this 40 millimeter might not be getting him to comply, but at least we're preventing him from escalating this situation.
Okay, so that's a slow down image. He's still holding these edge weapons, approaching the officers, and the officer with the 40 Mike is going to continue and engage one more time.
And push 260 Sam, Palmdale unit, switch over to Palmdale.
Hit him with the 40.
And then the officer backing that play decides to engage with lethal force. You know, I also picked up on this moment right here was she engages, and then it kind of goes eerily quiet for a second, as if the officers are processing that, like, who just fired their service pistol? Not necessarily questioning it. I wouldn't say that, but definitely, you know, like, again, they're trying to problem solve like everyone else, right? So, you know, and again, Sergeant G, you've been in numerous situations, I'm sure, you know, whether training, real life, you know, etc. But is it a difficult task to restrain from taking the slack out that trigger once one of your partners engages?
It is. And I'll say this, these guys set them up. These guys set themselves up for tremendous success, and they performed. You know, they have that line, and the only officer who engages the suspect is the officer that he's walking towards. And
True.
that minimized any problems with crossfire. Again, it was 2 rounds. The suspect hit the ground. The round stopped. Nobody else is, you know, deadly force has to be determined by the individual officer. Just because my partner is firing doesn't mean I necessarily have to, should, or could fire. And hey, I've been in situations, you know, whether it's with SWAT or on patrol where, yeah, hey, those rounds were justified. We're good legally. But, you know, maybe in the debrief, we're having a conversation like, hey man, you know, I know you heard us shoot, or maybe things you saw, but that's not the time to send those rounds downrange. And that's a very difficult conversation to have. I think these guys did a fantastic job. They set themselves up for success. They took the time, the opportunities when they were presented. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said before, Mr. Baker was the one who had the most control of this situation.
But again, hey, Sergeant G, Jay, I appreciate you guys being on the Resolver. Always a pleasure to have you guys. We'll talk soon. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.